I've had both of these for quite a long time actually. I would say at least a couple of months I've slept with each one. That came out wrong.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
But I wanted to dive deep into kind of the hardware, the software, and the overall user experience of these products. What are the pros and cons? And I'll really help you decide which one, if there is one, that you should purchase. Hint, hint, I highly recommend getting any kind of way to cool your sleeping environment, whether that's turning up your air conditioner or getting one of these devices that can help kind of cool from the mattress level. I'm absolutely obsessed and I just can't go back. Once you buy one of these things, it's like, it's life-changing. So be careful if you're watching this video. I've got both products linked down below with a little discount as well as it supports this channel. So use those links if you're gonna buy one of them. Other than that, let's get into the video. So the first thing I want to compare is the hardware differences between the two. In terms of size, you can see that the 8 Sleep is a vertical behemoth, right? It's dark, it's got kind of like a velvet cover on the side, it's gray, and it's got some vents, a USB port. And I don't know if you can tell, but on the bottom here, it has 4 valves for the water to flow through, as well as kind of a vent to emit the hot air that comes out of the back. On the top, it's got the big jug of water right here. You put water and a little bit of hydrogen peroxide. It has a UV filter built inside to make sure it kills any bacteria, prevents any algae growth. The Ooler Chili Sleep, same thing, it has an UV light as well. The difference here is it actually has a couple of buttons. It's got an on button, a plus minus, a little bit of a screen. These things are not on the 8 Sleep. And then instead of a little container that you pull out, you actually fill the device itself through this hole. And you don't actually put any hydrogen peroxide. They do provide a cleaner that you can then buy, which the 8 Sleep does not have. I think it's relatively good at self-cleaning versus this one. You gotta really focus and make sure you try to clean it every 3 months. The difference here, right? Same type of power outlet, except it's got 2 valves rather than 4. I like to think more holes, more flow.
Are you sure that's what he said?
We'll get into that later. But yeah, this is kind of like a pillow. It can slide underneath your mattress, whereas the 8 Sleep will sit next to your mattress. So in terms of the actual hardware components here, they look a little different and they behave a little different. When it comes to the flow of the water to the little sheet that goes underneath your sheets, the 8 Sleep I think is a clear winner. It has 4 little tunnels, 4 tubes, and it just pumps water much faster, and I can notice it rather quickly that the mattress is cooling or heating. It's just much better at creating temperature control than the Ooler is. And that's one reason I don't think I'll ever go back to the Ooler. I absolutely love the 8 Sleep. And although the 8 Sleep is pricier, like you can just get the 8 Sleep Pod as well as the sheet, and it's only I think a couple $100 more than the Ooler plus the Ooler sheet. Chili Sleep does a very good job of making their prices seem lower, but there's just a lot of components you have to buy. This 8 Sleep Pod comes with the cooling device as well as a queen size cover. Whereas when I bought the Ooler, I bought the Ooler itself and then half of a queen. If you want a double queen, you actually have to buy 2 Oolers. So when you start to add it all up, it gets relatively close to the price of the 8 Sleep Pod. So I highly recommend, you get what you pay for. It's a little premium, go with 8 Sleep when it comes to cooling your mattress quickly. Now the buttons on the Ooler I really do like, because you can actually go ahead and change the temperature on the Ooler itself via physical buttons, something I can't do on the 8 Sleep. So if I wake up, it's a little too cold, a little too hot. Sometimes that happens depending on the environmental factors. And then if I just don't want to use it or I want to use it, I can just power it on at times where I haven't set a previous set schedule. With the 8 Sleep, I actually have to open the app and turn it off. Sometimes I'll wake up and it's still running, so I have to open the app and turn it off. Not a huge inconvenience, but it is a slight inconvenience. The next piece is the little sheet that goes on top of your mattress. They're both kind of the same thickness, I would say. The Ooler one is more flexible. I have a half queen, so it has like 2 little things that go underneath it, and you kind of just slide it underneath your mattress, and then the cooling part goes on top. It's nice, but it can move around a lot. If you move around a lot, it doesn't stay as put on top of your mattress as well. I know they've released the bigger and better version. I really want to try it, so Ooler, if you want to send it to me, I'll do a comparison with that versus the 8 Sleep Pod. The 8 Sleep Pod has this thing where you actually cover your mattress first and then you lay, it's like active grid, and then you lay on the cooling pad and then it all zips together nice and tight. The downside is if your mattress is a little thicker than normal, it might not fit, but it does fit your mattress much better. The other piece is it increases the firmness of your mattress by, I would say, quite a bit. So what I've decided to do is just actually keep the 8 Sleep cover on top, but remove the component that actually wraps around the mattress. So I'm taking that piece off, and even then it stays on pretty well because it's kind of like a half mattress cover, so it kind of goes down the sides and for the most part, it stays on pretty well, especially when you have sheets that go over it. And then, like I said, when it comes to the cooling, the 8 Sleep is dramatically better at just cooling to lower temperatures and higher temperatures. I can just feel the difference much more than I can with the Chili Sleep Ooler. For some reason, the pad, I don't know what it is, I flipped it so it's the opposite direction. That was the recommendation. I can kind of feel it when I put my hand on it, but you just don't feel it as much as the 8 Sleep. The 8 Sleep is just immensely different when it comes to feeling that temperature difference. And why is this so important? Why does it matter so much? Look at this thing right here, right? It's really important to have a cool, you want to kind of decrease the temperature of your mattress as you're going to bed and then increase it as you're waking up again. And it can be helpful to create an alarm where you wake up to the warmer temperatures, or if it's like really warm at night, I absolutely love maximizing the cool temperatures, and it helps me fall asleep much easier. So that's kind of the hardware. When it comes to the actual hardware components, there are some benefits. I love the physical buttons of the Ooler, but the 8 Sleep has to win this round just because of the output power of the ability to cool your mattress much better. The 8 Sleep Pod also has sleep tracking components to it. I'm not going to refer to that in this video. I'll have another full review on the 8 Sleep Pod. If you want to see that, subscribe, like, leave a comment. Now we're getting into the software components of the Ooler and the 8 Sleep Pod. So I'm going to pop up my iPhone here with a screen recording of their apps. So when it comes to the Ooler Chili Sleep, you can see you can set the different temperatures throughout the night. You have a lot more options in terms of when you want to pick the times and the temperatures, and there's just a lot more control in terms of the specific things that you can do. And the Ooler does have 3 different modes. You've got silent, regular, and boost. These are both unplugged right now. But what I did have is I had a weekend mode and a weekday mode where I would set the bedtime and the wake time, and I would decrease the temperature, right? You can set even more times than this, but I really only had one. Really cold at bedtime. It starts to warm up as we get later and earlier in the morning, and then wake up, I would typically have a warmer temperature. And then you can pick the days that you want to repeat. So if you have a slightly different schedule, you can change that. You can add essentially as many schedules as you'd like. And that's pretty much it. The app is rather simple. There's not much else to it. It connects via Bluetooth, which is one difference. So you have to have your Bluetooth turned on, and you have to be within vicinity of your Ooler to be able to change the settings. So if you're in a different room, you're at a different place, you really can't turn it on or change the settings until you get home and you're within Bluetooth range. Now when it goes to the 8 Sleep app, this one uses Wi-Fi. So I can change the settings for my 8 Sleep from anywhere in the world. I can turn it on and off from anywhere in the world. The downside is if you're like most people like me, where you don't like to have Wi-Fi radio waves too close to your bedroom or not near your bedroom, typically I have weaker Wi-Fi signals there. This will have a challenge connecting to the internet, and then sometimes updating the settings can be hard. So there's pros and cons to that. It just depends on how good your Wi-Fi is in your bedroom. And there is no Ethernet port, which would be really nice. I would love to just plug in an Ethernet and not have to worry about Wi-Fi connection. There's no Bluetooth connection either, so you really have to rely on your Wi-Fi. 8 Sleep gives you 4 kind of times where you can change the temperature, right? You have bedtime. I like it at -4 right now. Sometimes I'll change it depending on the temperature in the room. I can set my bedtime, right? I have it for weekdays and weekends as well. You can change that schedule. You have your initial temperature, so after you fall asleep, and then your final, which is kind of the last couple hours of your leg of sleep. And then finally, your wake up time, you can also set a temperature. Your temperatures can range, like you can see all the different alarms, from 10 to -10. And then this is another big piece that they have, vibration. I can have it vibrate as well as like an alarm and have it wake me up with a vibration too. The challenging piece here is if you're using the alarm on your iPhone, on a Dream headband, any other device, like I have my Philips Hue light bulbs as well. When I need to change the alarm, I have to change my Philips Hue alarm, I have to change my 8 Sleep alarm, my Dream alarm, and my iPhone alarm. So if you're crazy like me and you have multiple alarms, quote unquote, you do have to update all of them before you wake up. But it is extremely valuable if you only use this as your alarm. Because then, let's say you have a partner, you only want your side of the bed to vibrate and warm up, you can have that. Whereas the Ooler, you would have to set up 2 Ooler devices and configure it separately. The 8 Sleep, I can do it all within one app. I can either have it solo for both sides of the bed, so right now I have it in solo mode. But if you have a partner, you can engineer both sides of the bed to different alarms, different times, and different temperatures. There's also the sleep tracking feature, so I can get heart rate variability, sleeping heart rate, respiratory rate. I've noticed my respiratory rate is different than my other trackers, so just look at the trends, don't look at the specific numbers. And then they also have this cool little like content section with meditation, breath, listen, and move, and you can go ahead and they have a couple of videos that you can do before and after bed to kind of just get you going throughout the day. I think it's really neat. There's a lot of free content on YouTube. I don't think it's necessary, it's just nice to have. And then finally, you have your sleep scores. I can see my sleep times. And the thing I love about this is if you want to track your sleep, but you don't want to wear anything, you don't want to do anything, this is easy. You put it on your bed, You install it once, you forget it, set it and forget it. It starts to do all the work for you, and you can look at your data and understand how you're sleeping to help improve your sleep over time. The downside though is, for example, the Oura Ring, I can travel with that. The 8 Sleep, you can't. So as you can see, I was traveling for a bit here, so a lot of my days are kind of missing. And I also don't understand why 93 is yellow, shouldn't that be green? But I can go ahead and see kind of my data over time. I've been using this for quite some time, and I absolutely love it. I really do. It is expensive. I know it's expensive. I financed it. I did not pay for mine. Yeah, financed it and I just paid it off like a month or two ago, and I absolutely love it. It hasn't broken yet, so thank you. And the 8 Sleep team is honestly great. They're super responsive. I'm really on the 8 Sleep team right now. Chili Sleep, you want to send me some products we can compare and see if you've improved to beat them out. Competition is always great. Boom, so that is the software for the two. I have to give it to 8 Sleep again. And just being able to make it a little simpler, providing more data, and the configuration, there's recommendations that they're creating in terms of like what temperature should I set it at. I don't have to pick the exact times. They kind of just create that for me. I don't need the customization, but if you're someone who needs customization, then go for the Ooler by Chili Sleep. Overall user experience and thoughts, pros and cons. Which product should you buy? So for me, if you're worried about EMF, you want lots of customization, and you want to be able to control by the hour, and you want to save a little bit of money, I would recommend you go with the Ooler Chili Sleep. If you're open to financing or spending that extra cash, getting that more powerful cooling and heating component, and you kind of want a little bit of sleep tracking too because you haven't had that before, I honestly recommend the 8 Sleep Pod Pro. And the branding behind 8 Sleep I think is just really cool. They make it seem like you're trying to live a high performance life